Hey, Heather.
Yes, Amy.
Did you know that approximately 1 billion plastic toothbrushes end up in U.S. landfills every year?
That's a lot of plastic.
It sure is. Now, if you're like Heather and me, you're always looking for easy ways to reduce your carbon footprint. And when I say easy, I'm not kidding. Here's one of the easiest ways I know. Just switch to a biodegradable toothbrush. Earthmania bamboo toothbrushes are made from premium, biodegradable, and highly sustainable bamboo with densely packed, ultra-soft, BPA-free bristles. So they're safe for everyone, including kids and people with sensitive gums.
With Earthmania, you get a fantastic clean for your entire mouth, and you can feel good about helping out the environment. They come in a 4-pack biodegradable cardboard box, not plastic packaging like most toothbrushes. And just like an old school plastic toothbrush, you should switch out your Earthmania bamboo toothbrush every 3 months. So a 4-pack box will last you an entire year.
Also, did you know that bamboo is naturally antimicrobial? So a bamboo brush is less likely to harbor germs and mold like their plastic counterparts.
I'm sold! I can't think of a reason not to switch to Earthmania.
Same! And for our Casting Notice listeners, Earthmania has a deal, and who doesn't love a deal?
I love a deal.
Yeah, go to earthmania.com and enter the code Casting Notice at checkout for 20% off your entire order. That's www.earthmania.com, discount code, which is 2 words, Casting Notice.
Earthmania premium bamboo toothbrushes. Love the earth, love your smile. This week we have Dr. Nina Cash. She's a model, she's an actor, she's a mom, and a pro bargain shopper. She's all about slaying the gray and having an encore career. And wait till you find out what her career has been. Hi, and welcome back to another episode of Casting Notice. I'm Heather.
I'm Amy.
And we have a very special guest this week. I have to set the scene, though, Amy. Now, we all have something in common, which is we are ARP alumni. We've all done AARP
Nina.
commercials.
Surprise, I've also been on an ARP commercial.
AARP for days.
We're so cool. We're so cool.
So I go into my fitting, and every other woman's there, and I'm just going to say we all look like we're part of the same universe. You know, we're all, nice, regular women. And in comes this goddess who just whooshes in, and you're like, who is this stunning, beautiful woman who's just entered the room? And it's Nina Cash, Dr. Nina Cash. Mm-hmm. And she's just breathtaking. And you're like, oh my God, this woman must be walking runways all the time and must have been modeling since she was like 14, like the way she carried herself, everything. And when you hear her story, it's even more amazing to find out where she is now. So I love Nina. I've loved her since the day that I met her. I find her to be one of the most fascinating, interesting people I've ever met. So I would love to introduce her now to all of you. Please welcome to the podcast, Dr. Nina Cash.
Thanks so much, Heather. Gosh, I'm like a little bit speechless. That was a really nice introduction. I didn't expect that. Thank you. Thank you.
I love that you guys met on a commercial shoot.
We did.
Was that like 3 years ago, Heather?
Although, you know what, Nina? Heather is actually, she's a phoney because she's not old enough to join ARP yet, actually. But I'm a proud ARP card carrier. I will just say, I'm all about the discount.
Yeah, me too. I could not wait to get my ARP card.
Okay, wait. I have a very, very important question about your ARP membership.
Yeah.
What was your ARP gift when you joined?
Yes.
Give you a gift.
Yeah, I got a fanny pack.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
A fanny pack, and guess what? I use it because I have 4 rescue dogs, and so that's where I put all the stuff in when I walk my dogs.
That's perfect.
So I do use it. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I haven't. My ARP gift, and because I saw one gift that I kind of wanted. I'm like, I'm gonna hold out because I think there might be a better gift if I wait a little bit. It's one of those totes, like a little container for your trunk, so you can organize your trunk.
Ooh,
And I put my canvas shopping bags, and I put like a couple hats in there, and a sunscreen. Like, it's not. It kind of just like rolls around in the trunk though, but it's there. I use it. Yeah.
But you know what? Wait, I think you could do like a year renewal, a 3-year, and a 5-year. So if you do a renewal, do you still get a gift? Another gift? I wonder.
Maybe if you cancel and then like renew, right? Maybe you have to act like you died and then come back as a new person or something.
Exactly.
Yeah, my friend got like a sling bag that was really nice. I'm like, oh man, that's good.
Okay.
See, Heather, what you have to look forward to?
But is it?
This is turning into an ARP commercial.
So I want to know if it's an age thing, because I actually did join ARP, because ARP will tell you don't have to be over a certain age. You can be any age to join. But I didn't get a free
discrimination
gift.
or something?
Maybe you only get a free gift if you're a certain age. I just got the magazine. I got the magazine for our photos because now we're all ARP models. I'm a model like Nina too. I just want to say that.
We are all models. Although, Nina, I'm sure Heather maybe has told you a little bit about the whole concept of our podcast, Casting Notice, is that we're actors and we met as comedians, and we always think it's funny that we get the most ridiculous casting breakdowns for when we get auditions. And one of my favorite ones, which you've probably never gotten this, Nina, is it will say, she's a mom, 40s to early 50s, pretty, but not a model. Or it'll say, she's attractive, but not model attractive. I'm like, oh my God, okay, I get it. I'm not a model. Like, she's normal looking, normal to character looking, not a model. But you probably get the opposite of that. She's a model, not average.
Not a character. No. Well, I'm 57, right? So I get a lot of auditions for the grandmas, but I'm not booking them, right? And I think it's like,
You don't look like anybody's granny.
well, yeah. So it's like I got that as my friend Chris. He's so fun. He's married to Eileen, and she's Japanese, and she's gorgeous. And he always would joke around that Asians have 7 bonus years, right? Because we look 7 years younger than our true age. So yeah, I guess maybe it's my Asian heritage that makes me look younger. So I will take it. But yeah, but no, I don't get the character ones. I get the grandmas, and then I get the. Well, here's the funny thing. I think because of me my age, and I don't look my age, but I look too old to play the 40s, because then it looks like I'm 40. Like I'm trying to be 40, but I'm clearly not in my 40s. But then when I try to play the grandma, I don't look like the grandma because I look too young to be a grandma. So I'm kind of in this weird space right now. Yeah. It's interesting. It's an interesting space.
I'm experiencing that a little bit as well. I'm just a yeah. I'm just a little younger than you. I'm 51, and I'm experiencing sort of the same thing. And this is something that I did want to bring up with you that I love, is that the gray hair, because I stopped coloring my hair a few years ago. And for those listening, we're actually watching each other on video, even though you're not seeing us, but most of my gray hair is underneath, but it's getting more and more pronounced. And I love when women choose to just let their hair go natural. And I'm sure if you decided to color your hair, you would get called right back in for the mom in their 40s. But because your face, would not betray you at all.
Thank you,
they'd
Mom
be like,
and Dad.
sure, she could play 40s.
But that's the genes. It's the genes, right?
Did you ever decide to stop coloring your hair, or you just never did it?
Oh no, I did color my hair. I started turning gray when I was 26, when I was pregnant with my daughter.
Wow.
Yeah, and my mom she started turning gray too when she was in her 20s, but then she, back then she dyed it because it was in the 40s. I think my mom was born in 1923.
Oh my
and Dad was born in 1923. Yeah, so just sidebar real quick. Parents had 2 kids in their 20s and 2 kids in their 40s, and I'm the youngest. So I have a brother who's 16 years older than me, a sister who's 12, and then my brother and I are just 12 months apart. So Mom started going gray prematurely, when she was in her 20s, and then I got that gene. And so, back in the 80s and 90s, I'm not gonna dye. I'm not gonna go gray. I don't want to look old. So I dyed it for many, many years, and then probably about 10 years ago, I wanted to stop dyeing my hair, but I didn't want it to be a shocker. So what I did was I started putting in highlights, right? So I started lightening my hair so that the grays would I thought that they would just kind of blend in with the highlights. And then when the pandemic hit, I'm done. Boop. Gonna just let it go.
Yeah, that was a real time for me too, where it's what's the point? We're not leaving in the house. And so for those of you just listening, Nina, go ahead and Google her, but she has this amazing, beautiful silver hair. She is the lady silver fox. Literally, her hair is gorgeous, gorgeous gray. and not like fully gray, but I mean, yeah, I love that it's natural because I've been trying to convince more of my friends to just let it go. I just don't think it's good to be putting all those chemicals right next to our brain.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's what. Sorry to cut you off, Amy, but I thought that's the same thing. Like what am I putting in my hair every 2 weeks? Because my hair, knock on wood, my hair grows fast. But what am I putting in my hair, and my scalp, and my skin, and my pores, everything? So yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy with just going el natural. Right.
You look great on natural. And I remember when we were talking, it had come up your gray hair because we filmed right after things reopened after COVID. I think we filmed the commercial in October 2020.
We did, because we were all, remember, we had to wear those masks and everything. We had to wear those shields whenever we were not working. That's right, yeah.
And I remember you saying that when you decided to go gray, you actually had all these other opportunities open up, that people wanted to book you more because of it. And I was like, yeah, because you're so gorgeous. Like, who else looks this gorgeous with this hair color? Like, it's amazing. But yeah, I think that's embracing our look, I think is actually helps us, I think, book more in some ways, because I think when you don't embrace how you look, you come across in your auditions as somebody insecure and somebody who lacks confidence.
It's not genuine. Yeah.
So let's go ahead and walk back in your history, because I do think that's interesting that your parents had like essentially two sets of kids, because, some in their 20s and some in their 40s. Now, your mom was born here in the U.S., correct?
Yes. Yeah.
In the back east, was it in Philadelphia or in Boston?
Boston. Yeah.
So can I kind of ask, can you talk a little bit about how was it for her growing up Asian in Boston in the 20s and 30s? That's got to be a very interesting experience.
Yeah, it definitely was. So my grandfather, my mom's dad, was Japanese and Filipino, and he immigrated to America. He was from the Philippines, and he was in World War One, and met my grandmother, who was born in America, and she was German. And she's Native American, but I'm very respectful of the indigenous population. And because we don't exactly know which tribe, I'm a little hesitant on saying that, right? So I just want to make sure that that's conveyed to your audience. I would love to do like a whole genealogy and find out more about that. And the reason why we don't know too much is because my grandmother died when my mom was 13. Oh. So my mom doesn't know a lot about her maternal side of the family. Anyways, having said that, so mom was brown growing up on the East Coast back in the 20s, 30s, and 40s, and she had some experiences that were very unpleasant, and so I think that kind of sadly informed how she would see the world. And I shouldn't say sadly. I'm going to say that what she experienced was sad, but how she, what those experiences did to her and how she viewed the world was actually very magical. Because my mom did not see people for the color of their skin. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of people that say, oh, you can't say you're colorblind, but let me finish my statement. Yes, Mom, she raised us to be colorblind, but not culturally blind. Mm-hmm. Okay, I need to make that very clear. Colorblind in the terms of, we don't say, look at the brown lady, look at the black man, look at this. Oh, look at the gentleman wearing the yellow shirt, look at the lady wearing the red coat, that kind of thing. But it was sad for her to be sadly discriminated against, back in the day, and she was. She definitely was. And so was my dad, right? And my dad, he's a 3-war veteran. He fought in World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. And he was discriminated against because he was Filipino and had brown skin. And even my dad would tell me about there would be signs on the water fountain, no dogs and no sailors. I don't know, that was weird. He would see that, I'm like, sailors? Because he was in the Navy. I didn't know, it was kind of bizarre. But I do remember a story that my mom and dad told us kids. And of course, I was a lot younger, again, 16 and 12 years younger than my older siblings. But when we moved into our house in Long Beach after my dad retired in 1969, my parents overheard one of the neighbors say, "Well, there goes the neighborhood."
Oof.
Yeah. Bummer. Yeah, and here's a,
So
you know,
welcome.
here's a,
Yeah.
welcome. Here's a 3-war veteran who served the country, you know, retired in 1969, moving into a new neighborhood, and that's kind of, yeah, how they were greeted. The funny thing about this and the irony is that I still live on the same block.
Oh my gosh.
And I live next door to the house I grew up in.
How funny.
And while I'm
Oh,
not
wow.
the oldest neighbor on the block, I'm the most senior neighbor on the block. So I know everybody. Yeah. And I will have to say that things have changed since 1969 and in the 70s dramatically.
Yeah.
Have changed.
That's actually
And,
kind of an amazing microcosm to watch how Long Beach has evolved over time. Because I don't think you would say that today in Long Beach. You would.
oh, God, no.
So was it hard growing up with having, you know, I mean, they almost had to be like mini parents, right? Your older 2 siblings.
Yeah, definitely. And they were really great role models. My eldest brother, he's first Filipino community college president of 2 community colleges
That's
in
amazing.
America. Yeah, but you know, has since retired. But you know, I look at that and I think, wow, that's just so amazing at that time for him to be a president, Filipino, and be a president. And you know, there was no social media or anything like, you know, back when he was the president to kind of, I guess, shine a light on that, right? I mean, because that's really huge. We should be very proud of that. And then my sister, Donia, she worked in politics. So she worked with several supervisors in Los Angeles and very beloved supervisors in Los Angeles. So she had a career in kind of politics. And my other brother, he's just a year older than me. He is in the entertainment industry as well. He does sound and all that good stuff. So, yeah, you know, growing up with older siblings was wonderful. They took care of me. They mentored me. I was my sister's Barbie doll.
Of course.
So she would dress me up, you know, and just take such good care of me. And she was so cute because she would go to the store and buy me clothes because she got a job at Hubbub. You guys probably don't know Hubbub. Somebody out there in this podcast land can remember Hubbub. But Hubbub was like, I don't know what kind of store there is now. But anyways, it was a go-to store. And when she got her couple of first paychecks, she went out and bought me some clothes. And so she surprised me. I was like 5 or 6 and brought home like cute little outfits. Remember those like those go-go boots, those like patent leather go-go boots that tied up?
Yeah.
Yes, so she got us matching go-go boots.
Oh my gosh, adorable.
So,
I love it. My older sister hates my guts, so it's nice to hear.
I was more of a guinea pig to my older siblings. It
Oh,
was just
really?
like, Amy,
You're
get in this box and we're going to push you down the stairs. Or like, let's see if you can fly. Let's get on this wagon and I'm going to pull you really fast down a gravel road and try to stay on. Like,
I know.
yeah, that's
well, my
what my
brother
older siblings
Rolly,
did to me.
oh my God. Well, you know, my brother Rolly, who's just a year older than me, we were kind of sneaky too. We did some stuff to my sister. And actually, the 3 of us just went out for breakfast on Saturday. And what we used to do when we were little, when my sister used to take us out shopping, and, you know, she was adorable, my sister, beautiful, you know, tan skin, dark black hair, and lots of guys would hit on her. Well, my brother and I, would run up to her, Mommy, Mommy. We were so mean. And she's like, stop it, we're not Mommy, Mommy. Oh my God. She was like, cute guys, these are my little brother and sister. They're not my kids. Oh,
You're like,
God.
Mom, you always say that.
Exactly.
You ashamed
I
of us,
love
mother?
it. I know.
Exactly.
Why, Mom?
Why are you saying that, Mom? Yeah. No, we have such a great relationship. We really do.
That's awesome. So I know you dipped your toe into modeling when you were younger.
Yeah.
How long did you do modeling when you were younger? From like what age to what age?
Oh gosh, it was like high school to maybe in my early 20s, but it was very sparse. I mean, I did not do anything like super major because I was in community college at the time, and Yeah, and working at the same time too, a regular kind of 9 to 5 job in between my schooling. But yeah, I, dabbled my toes, and I'll never forget my first job. So I went to LA Models, and I was lucky enough to get signed with LA Models. And so they gave me a list of photographers, shot with this wonderful photographer, Jay Feinberg. She's like amazing. And back in the days, kiddos, you got proof sheets. You didn't have digis. So
Yes.
I have my proof sheets. And I remember I brought it to the agency on Friday, and they said, great, Nina, there's a casting on Sunday at the Hollywood Hotel. We'd love you to go up there. It's casting for, I think it was like swimwear, some type of swimwear. And so I said, okay. So I put my proof sheet in a peachy folder, okay, because I did not have a portfolio. Do you remember peachy folders?
I do.
I love peachy folders. And I took my mom with me. So, because I was young. So I drove up to Hollywood, the scary Hollywood, with my mom, and went to the Hollywood Hotel for this casting. Now, mind you, we go up on the elevator, and there's all these beautiful models, just gorgeous, leggy models. They have their portfolios and all that stuff. And I walk in, and I am green, guys. I don't even know what's happening. I don't know if there's a sign-in sheet. I don't know. And somebody took pity on me and said, oh, there's a sign-in sheet. So I signed in. And they were snickering because I brought my mommy with me. But you know what? I love my mom. So I didn't care. Let them snicker all they want. At least I have a great relationship with my mom, right? So whatever. So they finally called my name, and I give them the peachy folder. And the guy looks at peachy folder. I'm like, yeah, I just signed with LA Models. And, they told me to come here. Here's my peachy folder. And they looked at my pictures, and then they said, is this your mom? I go, yeah, this is my mom, Gloria. Mom, this is, the casting people. They thought, what is happening, lady? You young kid. And so that was it. I left, waved goodbye. And then, so this was on a Sunday. So Tuesday, I come home from school, and I have a message on my answering machine, guys. Yes, way back in the Stone Age, we had answering machines. And it said, hi, Nina, this is your agent. Give us a call. So I called my agents, and they said, yeah, Nina, oh my gosh, they loved you. They want to book you. And I'm like, awesome. They're like, okay, it's $675 and okay per day. You're going to just work one day. This is so great. La, la, la. I'm like, fabulous. So I hung up the phone. I go out to my family. I go, oh my God, I booked that job. I'm making $6.75 an hour. It's like, I was working at close time, making $2.10.
Close time.
I'm dropping all the oldies, people. I'm dropping all the time. And I was like, I'm making $6.75 an hour. Of course, it was $675. Yeah, I will never forget that. Yeah, so
that's hilarious.
Yeah, super funny.
Did you? What made you decide to even start modeling in high school? Did somebody say you should be a model? Were you discovered, or you're like, this seems like a fun time?
Yeah, I think my circle of friends, they were like, oh, wouldn't it be great to be a model? This is when we're little kids, right? It's like, oh, playing dress up and makeup, and I'm a model and different things. And then someone said, oh, you should model. And I was in high school. And then I had a friend, Kendra, gorgeous Kendra. Oh my God, she's just beautiful. She started modeling. She was discovered, and she got with LA Models. And so that's when she said, you should maybe go to LA Models. People keep telling you that you should model. And so I did. Yeah, and that's how I kind of.
Kendra was right.
And I tell her she's so gorgeous that she could probably make a comeback. She just retired from being a school teacher for many, many years, and I'm like, Audrey, you should go back and kill it.
The hot
teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like also if even one person says to you, you should model, you probably should just go for it, because it's not something that anyone ever says unless it really is true, because it's not something you just say to someone. People say oh, you should do comedy, you're funny. That's not always true.
That's so true, Amy, because I've seen the open mic scene in LA. We know what it's like.
Yeah.
So what makes you decide to leave modeling and then go and get your undergraduate degree?
Being a single mom. So I got married and then had a child when I was 26, and then unfortunately my ex-husband and I didn't work out, and I knew that I needed to get a decent job in order to move up on the ranks at a current job that I had to have an education, right?
Yeah.
I had to have a bachelor's degree. And so I went back to school. I was, a single mom. I worked all day, went at night, had support of my family to help with Harrison, which was lovely. And Harrison's my daughter. And earned my bachelor's 20 years after I graduated high school, my master's 30 years after graduating high school, and then I earned my doctorate at the age of 55. So I am a returning adult student.
Wow.
That's amazing.
No, it's a lot.
Wow,
I'm
that's
not
impressive.
gonna lie. It was a lot. And part of me was like, if you ask me about those years, I'm like, it's zombie years, because during my master's I'm just trying to think when my parents passed away. During my master's program, my mom was on hospice at the very beginning. And then when I was finishing my master's, my dad was on hospice and passed away. So speaking to returning adult students, when you're juggling family and full-time school and full-time job, and that it's very taxing. It's very stressful.
Absolutely.
Very, very stressful.
Was the drive to specifically to drive your career forward, or were you just really loving being in school? I mean, obviously you said it was hard because you were going through so much family stuff at the same time. But were you specifically like aiming for career goals? Is that why you kept going back for another degree?
Yeah, so I was in higher education, so it made sense, right? So the only way that I can move around on my jungle gym, if you will, was to get my master's and my doctorate, right? So if I wanted to be a dean or an associate dean or get into administration, you couldn't really do it with a bachelor's degree.
And you did become an associate dean.
I did,
That was
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
She's got the brains and the beauty. Who knows? In her
know,
90s,
right?
she might start weightlifting and then she'll have the brawn. It'll be all across the board.
Well, you know what I talk about? Apple Wong, she was on Philippine Vogue on the cover. She's Filipino, and she's on the cover of Philippine Vogue at the age of 106.
Oh my gosh.
So here's the deal. If I do my math correctly, I got at least, 49, 50 more years
Absolutely.
for my goal of being on Vogue someday. So you never know.
You're going to make it. I know it.
Wow.
I'm a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
I think we all are. I will have to say that you don't have to be formally educated to be educated.
Yes.
And what do I mean by that? I mean that the best classroom is the world, and the best teacher is life experience.
Yeah.
Hands down. Hands down.
I love it. And during this time, I know you're part of this big program. Before we go on to the final thing, I really do want to talk about Get Safe, because I did a little bit of looking into it. And it seems like they're doing so much positive work, especially a lot of this with anti-bullying in schools and with children, and really pushing diversity and diversity of people. How did you get involved with Get Safe?
So I was introduced to Get Safe by a friend in 1999. And at the time, I have been working with the intellectual and developmentally disabled population since high school. And when I met the executive director, Stuart Haskin from Get Safe, and this is his baby, he started it. This is his nonprofit. I'm so proud of him. He had a mission of wanting to provide training and education to people, for people to live safer lives. And he just started creating and developing a program for the intellectual and developmentally disabled population. And of course, I had been working in that field at the Long Beach Unified School District, and then obviously at the university. And so we helped create some programs, some safety programs for them. And I have been volunteering ever since, and now I sit on their board, and I actually still volunteer. I was just at a site, and we did some training, some safety training for an IDD population, which is the intellectual and developmentally disabled population. So we also help with folks who are recovering from sexual and physical assaults, and just what some of these women and men, I'm going to say men because a lot of times people don't think about it, but men are included in this, what they have gone through and how they have survived and thrived is truly amazing. And I do a couple of podcasts with them on occasion as well. So Get Safe is wonderful. And if folks are listening, www.getsafeusa.com, please visit.
Now let's talk about what we've been teasing, because when I saw this, I was like, of course she is, of course. You are a Sports Illustrated model now.
Oh my gosh. This 57-year-old, as my mom would say back in the day, battle axe. This 57-year-old battle axe.
Hardly.
I think we're battle axes, and Nina's like that jeweled sword that like Aragon picks up in Lord of the Rings, and all the lights shine, and we're Gimli's little axe on his belt, like, hey, we're here to help you.
You are nerding out so bad.
That's for our Lord of the Rings fans.
I don't know what you're talking about at all, but that's.
I know you've told this story a lot, but I'm gonna dig in. You go to Australia for vacation.
Yes. Well, my husband's from Australia, so we were going back home to see family. So this is such a funny story to my family because so we hadn't been back to Australia in 3 years because of the pandemic. And so we finally went back in 2022, and we decided to stay like a month and a half there. Well, now, you know that couple of things. Australia is a day ahead in time, and then they're also the opposite, right, in terms of weather. Yeah. So when we go there in December, it's actually their summertime. So when we went there, now let me digress for a hot second. I grew up in a Catholic military Filipino family. Yeah. So I was very reserved. Yes. Okay. So if I were to wear a bathing suit, it would definitely not be a 2-piece. It's going to be a 1-piece. Probably we would go to the beach in a muumuu. That's my style, but okay, that's my style. So we get to Australia and it's hot there, and I forget to bring my 1-piece. So we go to the local Kmart, okay, because my mother-in-law has a cute little strip mall, okay, and it's called the Pines. So we go to the Pines at the Kmart, and I look for a bathing suit, and all the bathing suits are sold out. And literally the only one that was left in my size was a 2-piece leopard bikini.
Oh my God.
Okay. And I'm like, leopard. So I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm like, honey, I'm just going to get it. Okay. Because if we happen to go to another mall, whatever, I can get, but let me just get this. Cause we would take early morning walks, right? 6 a.m. sunrise on the beach. No one's going to be there. So I thought, no one's going to be there. I'm just going to wear the bathing suit. Just me and my husband walking on the beach. So January 1st comes, it's New Year's Day, we wake up early, we see that, I got my bathing suit on, we're walking on the beach, we're taking some video like, hi kids, Happy New Year, blah, 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 blah. And then my husband takes some candid shots. We go back home, we're with the family, having New Year's Day. That night, my husband's scrolling on the phone, we're looking at these pictures, and I go, give me the phone, I'm like, hey, not too shabby for this gray-haired 55-year-old retiree. Look at her, not too shabby. And again, I said battle axe. And so we started joking around, and I said, well, listen, I'm gonna be in Sports Illustrated, and I'm kind of joking, like literally, like not thinking, because you guys, again, I wear the 1-piece muumuu. So then I remember Kathy Jacobs. I saw her on the news. I remember seeing her on the news that she became a Sports Illustrated rookie at the age of 57. So then I'm like, I'm going to look it up. Now, it's January 1st, right? And I'm thinking if they had an application period, it's over because it's already the first of the year. So I get online, and to my surprise, they had extended the deadline to January 1st. Well, Australia is a day ahead. Mm-hmm. So by the time I looked at it, I literally had 1 hour to cobble together a video and submit it. Now, I didn't even know what to submit, but I quickly looked at a couple of videos online that people submitted, and they're all professional. And here I am with like this iPhone, my husband's shaking because the dog is like grabbing his hand. And I cobbled together this video, sent it in, and then kind of forgot about it. And then 3 months later, I get an email. Congratulations, Nina. You made the top 24. And I'm like, I called in my husband. I showed him on the computer. I said, I made the top 24. Can you believe it? And he goes, you want to go celebrate? And I go, yes, I do. And so one of my favorite places is Tommy's Burgers, chili cheese fries, man, with my Dr. Pepper. And we went. Celebrate, got pictures. And And I did my celebratory top 24 with my chili cheese fries and my Dr. Pepper. And
Like most models do.
and then it was top 12 interviews, and then it was top 7, and then we were and the girl. Let me just tell you that the 6 ladies, and I call them girls because again I'm the oldest. They all literally I could be their mother, because I think the oldest one is 34, then it goes 32, then 30, then 20. I'm like, yeah, and my kids are 32, 31, and 28. Anyways, wonderful girls. And so we were lucky enough that they didn't just pick one of us, they picked all of us to be in the magazine.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's cool because it's the 60th edition. So it's a really big year. It's 60th anniversary edition. That's going to come out in May. And yeah, so who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
Like my encore career has turned into this, right? And
I love
I'm
it.
embracing
So cool.
it wholeheartedly, and I'm loving it. Yeah, I get to meet wonderful people, so it's been great. It's been really great. Right?
So it's so cool to see people like you, women like you, who are really fully embodying that and just running with it. It's really inspiring.
Thank you. Well, and I also think that, you should never define who you are by your job title. Mm-hmm. It's funny because when I was working at the university, so when was this, 21, it was just very stressful, right? A pandemic hit, we had to transition 29,000 students to an online format. It was just extremely stressful for me. So I remember telling my husband, I said, you know what, I would love to have a job where I just go in, and I just do my job, and I leave it all there. And I said, I want to work at the local Ross.
McDonald's?
I want to work at the Ross because I love it. Listen, I got a black belt in bargain shopping. That's another thing. Guys, I have a black belt in bargain shopping. Love me a bargain. And Ross is such a great boyfriend. He gives me the good deals all the time. So I'm like, I want to get a job at Ross because I love retail therapy. I love a good bargain. I'll get a discount. So I literally one day was just so stressed out at work that I applied online to Ross. And guess what? Long story short, guys, I got a job. And I said, here's the deal. I said, I work full time, but what I would love to do is maybe one day a week, work the 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. shift, and I will stock. And I did it, you guys. It was amazing. I did it for 2 years.
At Ross.
Yes, and I want to do it again because guess what? So you go in. Okay, well, first, remember how we talked about minimum wage? Well, because I worked the graveyard shit, I got a shift differential.
Right?
Okay,
Yeah.
so I get Then you get a discount 20%, but then on certain days you get 40% off, okay? But the best part is I get there 4 a.m., work 8 a.m., put the stuff on the shelves. I got 10,000 steps in because I'm running around the store, right, putting stuff away, okay? Listen, bathrobes cannot talk back to me, okay? Okay?
Yeah, right.
The shoes aren't going to throw a fit. I don't have to go to HR because, the guy's hats don't. It was wonderful. It was like retail therapy for me. And I loved it. And 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. was perfect because 8 a.m. hit and I still have the whole day ahead of me.
My next question for you, Nina, is do you ever sleep? Do you ever sleep? Because I'm imagining that you did that job from 4 to 8 and then you went on to work a full day at your other job.
Yeah, I did. And then I retired, still worked at Ross. And then now, because I don't work at Ross and now I get to sleep, I get my enough hours in, which I really love.
It's real easy on paper to be jealous of you, Nina, because, you are this intelligent, empathetic, had a wonderful life, beautiful, stunning woman. And then you meet you and you're just like, no, I'm just going to fall in love with her and be her. I'll be your little cheerleading squad in the background, like the frumpy ones that are blurred out over there.
Oh, no. You guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I really, really do. It's interesting, we talk about, I think, people throwing stones or people trying to dim your light and different things like that. And also we go back to, are you saying I grew up in just a wonderful household, that there must be something in there. And I have found like that the brighter your light shines, there's two types of people. They either want to be warmed by your light and embrace the light, and then there are those that want to dim your light, and they will do everything in their power to smash that light. And I certainly have had that in my career. Certainly have had that. And I think, that's another kind of experience that have shaped the way I view the world and how I wanted to be a manager and different things. So, but thank you for saying that you're my cheerleader, and you're not going to be over there in the blurred section. Stop that. You're like front row and center. So
you teased it. How did you come up with Go Gray and Slay, or Slay the Gray Away? Like, how did that become your motto?
Gone Gray and Still Slay. So Sports Illustrated, when I was lucky enough to do the swimsuit show in Miami, was it in July, I believe, last year? They said, we're gonna create some bathing suits or some outfits or some things that have motivational quotes and inspirational quotes. And do you have one that you would like to give us? And the first thing that I thought of was Gone Gray and Still Slay, because I think people equate being gray to old, feeble, not sexy anymore, over the hill, got to put them out to pasture, just not interesting anymore. And I think, you can still slay at any age, any way you look, any hair color you can slay. But so Gone Gray and Still Slay, it stuck, and so a lot of people say that to me, and so I'm running with it. I love it, and if it can inspire other people, it's all good.
I love it.
That's great.
And they made you a custom bag.
I want my swimsuit.
Yeah. They actually gave me a really cute tote bag on there, and because it was so many words, I got this really cool tote bag that I walked on stage with. So
did you get to keep any of your Sports Illustrated outfits, the bathing suits?
Yeah, I got to keep a couple, and I got to keep the bag because
Nice.
they bought it especially for me, which is really, really sweet, and a couple of bathing suits as well. So
Because I remember you got to keep that like $300 wool overcoat thing from
I
you.
know, do you remember?
Yes, I remember.
I still have it.
It's
Did you
gorgeous.
get to keep those too,
Listen, I got a
right?
$30 Target dress muumuu. Let's not talk about the disparity between your outfit and my outfit. Mine went into the donate pile immediately. They were like, you can keep the dress. And I was like, I don't need it. They're like, no, keep it. And Bobby makes fun of the spread to this day. He's like, look how nice everybody looks, Heather. And then there's you. I'm like,
Okay, I need to look at it later.
and it's
Send it to
awful
me.
because I'm kind of featured in the commercial. And I'm in this.
Oh, you are it, girl.
It's like this
You are.
big black dress that I'm wearing that makes me look even 3 times larger than I was. And I'm like, well, this is life. This is what's going to happen. I think they had to do it because it was so big, they could put the website across it easier and it would appear.
Well, you're so
Oh
funny.
my gosh.
No, but you killed it, Heather.
Ugh.
You killed that because you had so many lines. Remember how they said I learned the lines, and then you and I were rehearsing together.
Yeah.
Remember they go, oh, we're on a teleprompter. We're like,
Yeah.
what?
A teleprompter.
We're like, dang it.
Oh my.
We
And did you
memorized
actually memorize it all
did.
and you were freaking
it.
out?
We did.
Because we're good
Yeah.
Asians.
Okay, did I ever tell you the story how that happened to me? You're like, I will memorize it. That happened to me. This is like a sidebar, but like that happened to me. I was on an episode of The Newsroom, the Aaron
Yeah.
Sorkin show that
Yeah.
was on HBO. And I played, of course, a newscaster. And so I was just very secondary. Like I was on a screen that the main character, what's his face? Jeff Daniels, is that his name? I can't remember the name.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So he's like doing his newscasting and then he's talking to me because I'm reporting from somewhere, right? And then he would like turn away and then he was talking to like one of his producers or whatever. So I'm just in the background talking. It literally was like, you know how somebody's reporting live from a thing and they're like, and where's that, blah, 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 blah. This woman is like talking nonstop. I mean, it was like pages. It was like 3 pages of newscaster talking.
No
God.
way.
But I knew that I wasn't really in the forefront. And so the night before I couldn't sleep because I'm like, how am I supposed to memorize this in like a day and a half? Like it was so much. And And everybody had told me, they're like, he is a stickler.
Yeah.
Like, you have to say it word for word what he writes, or he will correct you, stop you, fire you, whatever. I was having a heart attack the morning of, and I was just dying to know if I was going to have a prompter or not, because I'm like, there's no way they can expect me to memorize all of this. And I was talking about that guy in Kandahar who like killed people and stuff. So it was like a lot of, it was so wordy. I was literally like had the sweats. I was so nervous. And they didn't tell me about that I would have a teleprompter until like right before we started shooting. And I was like, oh, it was the biggest moment of relief I think I've ever had in my life. So I know that feeling.
They're making a movie of your life. It's the Dr. Nina Cash story. Who do you have pick to play you? And it can be from any time, any ethnicity, any gender, I guess, if you want. Who would you have play you? For example, I'm always like Angela Bassett. Angela Bassett, that's who I want to play me.
Like no rules. It could be a man. It could be a different race. It could be younger, older, living, dead. Like a cartoon character. Anybody.
It's a bird who doesn't want to sleep with other birds.
I know. Yeah, who do I want to play me? Oh, this is such a good question. Okay, so do they have to be living?
Nope.
Oh,
nope.
okay.
And there's no regulations on this.
Okay. So can there be like 3 people like during different generations?
Sure.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Why not?
Who do I want? Okay, so I love Audrey Hepburn. So if people were to ask me kind of like, oh, Nina, who are you? I would say I'm a cross between Audrey Hepburn with a dash of Raquel Welch and a sprinkle of Sophia Loren. Okay, that's
I can see, yeah.
So
I
that's
can see
kind of like. So I would say Audrey Hepburn because
Good choice.
of her, of who she was besides being an actress.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with Audrey Hepburn.
I love it. I think that's
Final
perfect.
answer.
For sure.
Nina, I want to thank you for coming on today. I knew you were going to be this, and I want people to know you so much because the moment we met on that ARP commercial, like I fell in love and I was like, this woman's incredible. Everything about her is incredible. Her story, her life, what she does, like your empathy pours from you. And then you're just gorgeous on top of it. As I said, I should be jealous, but I can't because I'm just madly in love with who you are as a person. You're amazing.
Vice versa.
And now you have another fan too.
Yeah.
So this has been a real treat meeting you and connecting, and you've just been an awesome guest. Thank you so much for your time with us. I know it's, time is valuable to all of us, so we really
She could be stocking shelves right now, Amy. But she's here.
She could be at Ross working her dream job.
I could be scoping out Ross and like hiding all the stuff in the corners for me to go back and buy later.
Okay, I totally have done that.
Absolutely.
You gotta hide. You gotta, I'm gonna put this size 4 into the size like whatever in the middle of it, because then like
nobody will get it.
Pick it out there.
Well, thank you both for taking an interest in me and having me on your show. And I'm just really thrilled to be here and to support you and say bravo that your dreams are coming true. I know the both of you wanted to start doing this a few years ago, and it's here. So congratulations on this achievement. It's huge.
And where can people find you and follow you and all the things that you're doing?
So I have an Instagram account, so it's at _Nina Cash _ So I don't have a TikTok. I'm new to all of this, so I ask people to kindly bear with me. I'm still learning. Hopefully I'll get a website one day, I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do the TikTok. The TikTok.
That's right.
Not the TikTok, as I like to say. We'll see. But at _Nina Cash _ is my Instagram.
That's awesome. Thank you again so much. I love talking with you. I love seeing you again, and I can't wait to see what else is
I
going
hope
to
we
come.
all do an ARP commercial together, like a reunion.
Yeah, that's
or
right.
something. That'd be fun.
That'd be amazing.
Have a great week, you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Next week, join us when we have a very special guest, someone near and dear to my heart, my daughter, Aubrey Anderson Emmons. Many of you know Aubrey from her 9 seasons on the critically acclaimed sitcom Modern Family. She's a big girl now. She's 16, and she's going to sit down with us and talk about her life postmodern and what it was like growing up in the public eye.